All right. Two column notes here, people. Great little way to study and make sure that you are ready. Remember, the main thing about your two column notes is you want to say what you're going to do. That's the whole point. Like a test, you want to be able to say what you're going to do to get yourself started. So, let's get yourself going through this. If you want to change a fraction into a decimal. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to put an example that's here, just so you, when you look at there. So, okay, so something like, 1/5. What would you do to change into? Well, you could just type in calculator. All right. Remember, it is a division problem. All right. But that's it. Yeah, type it in. It's division. That's what we want to say there. Decimal into a fraction. All right, decimal into a fraction. So if we give you something like this, all you'd have to do is say it with your placeholder. All right. So in this case, 8/10, 8 over your 10. That's what we want. Percent to a fraction. So if we're giving you something like 17%, you're going to put it over 100 because percent's always out of 100. All right. Okay, so a fraction into a percent. The main thing here is a lot of you might not use this. A lot of you might always go your decimal into your percent, but if you do have a fraction, change it into a percent. So if you have something like this, all right, let's say it's 5/8 there, you need to get it out of 100. All right, get it out of 100. So you're going to solve your ratio. So, for example, it would look something like this, and then you would solve for it there. All right. Percent to a decimal. Percent to a decimal. We got two ways of going about this. If you have something like 32%, you can either say divide by 100, or remember we're going to go twice left. All right, and then your decimal to percent, so something like this, all right, you're going to multiply by 100, or in other words, you're going to go twice right. All right. Solving your percent problems. All right. Well, remember, there's two different ways. You could go visual. All right, and that's fine. Or you could do the whole part over whole equals percent out of 100. Choose the technique that you like, because obviously that's the one that's just going to make it better for you there. Oh, I guess I had two lines there. I could have put them on either. All right. Well, there's my one method. There's my two. Maybe you put it on two lines. All right, solving percent problems. Look for three things here. Okay, so the first thing I look for is definitely look for your percent. And then we got to figure out who is your part and who is your whole amount. Remember, your whole, that is your original price. All right, that's one way of looking at the part. That is your discount. Okay, a lot of other situations easier to figure out who's the part and who's the whole because of the context, but those are definitely key words that we want to be watching for. All right. No, no, it's not crazy talk. It is always true for those guys, and that's what we're going to see a lot of. This is where we use these percent problems, so that's why we're going to see a lot of them there. And then sales price. Who is the part? All right, that is your, like we just talked about up there, that is your discount. All right, who is the whole? That is your original price. Um, I'm trying to think of what else. I'm looking for three things here. I mean, that's it. Once you find those things, or once you look for it, then you're just solving your particular ratio problems. But hopefully, what you're going to see here is it is about your setup, and hopefully, you're feeling confident with that. But this is the main section up here. This is where you can either gather those easy points, or you can spend a lot of time regretting that. Oh my goodness, why didn't I spend time with this? You do have your quiz, so that is a great thing to be looking at there. All right. I know it's a quick one there, but we're done, people.